Okay, folks, welcome to part 4 of this playthrough of the Dark Summer. This should be the last playthrough, up to the last turn now. During the afternoon, I managed to get through a few turns. Turns 8 and 9. We had the stormy turn and then a sun turn. So we know that the last turn is going to be cloudy, which is good for the Allies. To cover sort of what's happened, I realised I made another small, well, actually, probably the biggest rules error, and that is on turn 7, the effects, the combat, the special combat effect on blockage is cancelled. That ability for the Germans to cancel DRs and DR asterisks in blockage combat is cancelled at the end of turn 6. That means in turn 7, 8, 9, 10, the Allies can really drive through the blockage, and that's what they've been doing. I think the last time I did 2 turns ago, the lines were here, and they've been pushing hard through here, causing a lot of hits on the Germans. It's not going to be enough to do much. I mean, to get some decent victory points, they really want to push into the Brittany box, which is all the way down here. Yeah, the Germans are still being wily. They are withdrawing ever so slightly whenever the Allies get close, and it's frustrating for the Allies. So let's look at chit availability. With cloudy turns, we get 4 US move combats. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can put them in the cup. We get 2 British move, 2 British combat, and we can put them in the cup. And we get 3 German move combats and 1 reaction, which we keep in our hand. The rest are unavailable, and their artillery is unavailable. I will also point out, so this is the American side. Over in the British side, Commonwealth side, my apologies, things are also going pretty well. We've captured Caen. It was interesting here. We had, I think, 17th SS. They were down to 1 step. They managed to withdraw from the city and were replaced by 2 full-strength infantry, what are they, regiments, brigades, in this hex. The Allies got a really strong attack going, caused an exchange result which eliminated the defenders, let them move in and capture it. So the Germans sort of brought in these strong and healthy replacements, and then they're all wiped out in one attack, and the second hex fell shortly afterwards. Pushing down here really kind of threatened the flank of Caen, and yeah, they've advanced. Also gradually pushing. There's just been a lot of combat throughout here, and as you can see, the German lines are looking pretty thin. This is what the Allies kind of want to happen. 1 full strength Kampf group there, 2 reduced Panzer-Lehr, a lot of sort of vulnerabilities along the line. Unfortunately, it's all too little too late. Again, there's a long way to go to the edge of the map, and I highly doubt they'll make it. They needed to kind of have this momentum and this break a few turns earlier. What else? We get replacements. Cloudy turn, 2 US mech, and where do I want to put these guys? I want to strengthen the 6 armoured because they're in a good position here. That's 1, and they're not very strong. Let me bring you over to the US sector so you can see what's happening. Armoured, here we are, 4th armoured, 2. So trying to punch through here again. We need a lot of luck really to be able to push south. So to make 1 infantry and I don't know where they'll take that. Maybe just 79th is pretty reduced. They'd like to hit that flak. They should be able to do it anyway. Maybe out here the second, just give them a bit of extra strength. That's actually pretty important out here. Okay, so 2 mech, 1 infantry. The British get 1 armour, 1 infantry, 1 Canadian. 1 armour, 1 Canadian out here. And 1 infantry. Why not? These guys are the 15th Division. Okay. Sorry, that was off camera. Just off to the right here. British reinforcements being taken. Replacements, apologies. There are no more reinforcements to arrive, so everything is out on the board. We do have TAC Air this turn. Just a reminder of the rules for cloudy weather, sunny cloudy weather. It's very advantageous for the Allies. German units can't use road movement costs, they're very slow. Allies can prepare a declared offensive. Allies receive 1 column left on the defence. Carpet bombing is allowed. I haven't really used these, I've only used it once. I guess now's the time. Maybe I should use it turns 1 to 6 to ignore Bockhart. Well, I know I should have. And we get to start with the counter. And I'm really hoping to break through the German lines out in the west. So I'm starting off with an American combat activation. So there's going to be attacks all along the line here. And we'll start off here in the far left where we have um, 16, 22, 23 on 4, which is 5 to 1 down to 3 to 1 for the Bocage. A result of 2 is a DR. So not what I wanted, but a retreat nonetheless, and they will advance. I get these guys, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on 4. I will use a 13 on 4. Yeah, 13 on 4 is, oh, it's across the river as well. So I'll use attack air to make it 4 to 1, down 3 columns, 1, 2, 3 to 1 to 1. A roll of 1 is an AL1 result. That's unfortunate. Could have cut that retreat. Okay, now we've got some combat going on here. We have 12 plus 9 is 21, plus those guys, 22, 23, 24, which is 3 to 1 in a city, shifts to the left, and a roll of 4 is a DR result. Now they can still ignore DR results in city. So Coutances holds. Now we have to attack here. 12 on 6 is 2 to 1 in Bocage, and across the Minor River. It's going to be 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, not looking good. AL1. Okay. And did I do that from the right thing? No, I didn't, did I? Sorry. So here we've got 15 on 13, so that's 1 to 1 across the stream. They won't attack. They've got 12, 13, 14, 15, also across the stream. I kind of need to attack, but it's the last turn, what the heck. Terrible odds. A roll of 4 is no effect. 15 on 1 to 1 here, terrible odds. A 6 causes a DR. So even at the very worst column, a 6 can force the opponent to retreat. Okay, now here we have 14, 22, 23. On that is 6 to 1. 3 column shifts to the left. And a 6, 1, 2, 3 is a defender eliminated, so that's okay. And we can advance into there. And then over here we've got 6 to 1, 3 column shifts to the left. And a roll of 6 is a defender eliminated. And we can advance into here. And the Germans are going to have to react here. This is their only reaction available because there's this big gap here. We'll continue with combat though. We've got 10, 16, 16 plus 16 is 32 on 8, which is 4 to 1. 4 to 1. I'm going to throw some tack air and an armoured unit in to make it 5 to 1, because it's going to shift to 3 to 1, and a roll of 3. 3 to 1, 3 is a DR asterisk, so they retreat to 1, 2, 2 actually, and they lose a step, and we can advance into there. Over here, there's a massive stack. This is going to be 6 to 1. Down 2, 4 is an exchange, so they lose that step, and we lose a step, and can advance into Saint-Lô. All right, so we've finally captured Saint-Lô, and it's happening in the 3rd week of August. Not great. Okay, I may as well keep pushing all along the line. So here we go. 18 on 18, which is 1 to 1, 2 column shift, gives me an AL1 result. And up here, big stack of second armoured. We've got 29 on 8. 29 plus a tack air. 29 is 34 on 8 is 4 to 1. Shifting left 2 is 2 to 1. 2 to 1, 4 is a DR result. So they retreat 1, 2. And we can advance. Over here now, we have got 18 plus 28, 34, 35, 36, 37. 37 is, I'm out of tack air. 37 is 3 to 1, down 2 shifts. 1 to 1 is a DR result, 1, 2. All right, so again, it's making progress. It's just all too little too late. By this stage, the Americans are in good position. They've got this numerical superiority. The Germans are really weakened, reduced, spread out. Over here now we've got 18 on 8, 2 to 1 with 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. A result of 4 is no effect. Here we have got 12, 13, 13, 14, 15. These are tank destroyers. So that's 3 to 1 in the hills, which is 2 left. 4 is a DR result, 1, 2, and we'll advance. And finally, 21 on 4 is 5 to 1. 2 left. 4 is a DR asterisk. They have to retreat 2, and we'll advance. So again, a good series of American combats now. I don't know that they are, strength, ignoring the DR results on blockage. Germans absolutely have to spend their 1 reaction because there's a big gap here. This is the most important gap, and I can activate 1 formation or 1 stack. I'll activate this stack here, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, send them in there. The rest can come over here. Yeah, okay. I don't just want, I mean, the Americans just punch through a thin line, so I'm trying to form a decent stack here. Next activation is British combat. Okay, this is also pretty good for the Allies, because the British are also all set up and pretty much ready to go. So we can bring, what's the most important area to attack? Maybe these stacks in here, if I can poke through to Falaise. But I've already got, I mean, this is kind of predetermined. They're attacking across a major river. 9, 18, 18 on 7, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 on 7 is 3 to 1 across a minor river, which is just 1 to the left, and they're in the clear. So 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 5 is going to be a DR asterisk result. So 1, 2, and they lose a step, and we can cross. Then we've got the 6 plus 18 is 24. 24 on 6 is 4 to 1 with 2 column shifts. It's 2 to 1. A 2 to 1 4 is a DR result, so they have to retreat 2. And they cannot retreat. This is interesting. So now we've surrounded them with zones of control. They cannot retreat through zones of control, so they're eliminated and will advance. And this little stack here, this is very important. So 12 plus 12, 24, 25, 26, 27 on 3 is 6 to 1, 2 column shifts left. 5 is defender eliminated. Okay. Let's get the Canadians to push into the hills here. And we have a gap here. And the Germans have used their reaction. If the British can jump in here, the Canadians, sorry, it'd be 1, 2 to move in, and then 3, 4, 5. They can do a lot. Okay. No, sorry, more combat up here potentially. So I can do 12 on 5. 2 to 1 would be 1 to 1. Let's give it a go. 1 to 1. 2 is a no effect. I can do a 10, a 1 to 1 here with no modifiers. A 2, 1 to 1, 2 is no effect. And I'm not going to bother attacking there because the odds are so low. Okay, let's see what the next activation counter is. Okay, German movement. They got very, very, very lucky there. If that was British, they would have been in big trouble. Question is now, what do? They are so increasingly stretched out. Okay, these guys absolutely have to pull back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They'll pull back to the woods, as will they, They'll pull back to the hills. They'll come back to some bocage. Woods, bocage, they're in bocage. They will come 1, 2, 3, 4 into there. They will go 1, 2, sorry, look at the American line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, just the tricky German move to pull away from 3, 4. On these lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10. They will do an emergency withdrawal, move 2 hexes away. They can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. They can just pull 1 hex away. So if the Americans basically have to move up, they could do a combined action because they haven't moved too far away. But for now, all the gaps have been plugged. And it is an American movement. So they might do a combined action. I haven't demonstrated this before. I did one earlier. They have a move. They can convert this into a combined action. This lets them move all their units 1 hex. Actually, I should move these Germans up here as well, sorry. So 1, 2, this is just down the far south here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't move far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't use these roads, keep in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's slow going when you can't use these roads because of the clear weather and the Allied air superiority, basically, is what's going on here. Okay. So we've got an American combined action, it's called. They can move 1 hex and attack with a column shift to the left. So that's all they can do. Sorry, they can move 2 hexes if they use a primary road, I think. Don't think it really matters anyway. What I really want is the strongest hex possible to come in here. They've got 12. They've got 9. They can move in there. We'll get these guys to come in there. They'll shift down. They can't do much. They'll come down. They'll come down. They'll come down. Just moving all these 1 down, 1 down, 1, 1, 1, 1. They can't reach. They can reach. They can reach. They can reach. They can't. 2 hexes out to the left using that primary road. All right, so some options here. We'll keep pushing down the very edge of that line. We will keep pushing down here. Options here. We'll push these guys down here and these guys down here. Again, just 1 hex each, basically. And now we do combat, but with 1 column shift to the left on all these combats. So we have out here our main kind of 3rd armoured driving force. 16 plus 6 is 22, 23 on 4. 23 on 4. Yeah, okay, 5 to 1. 2 shifts left is 3 to 1. 3 to 1, 2 is a DR result. So again, they retreat. I can't leave the coast too exposed. And we'll advance. Oh no, it's actually, what did I say? 5 to 1, 2, 2 is a BL1. So they lose a step. They lose a step. But they hold there. Let's start from got all these comments here to do here. Would like this one to be the most important one. 4, unfortunately, it's going to be armoured 16, 23 on 4. Same again. It's going to be, in fact, we're going to throw in those guys. So 23, 26 on 4 gives me 6 to 1. 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 is an exchange. So they are wiped out, 2 steps lost, and I have to suffer 2 steps. And it has to be armoured steps, unfortunately. And I can advance. And I'll advance with those 2 formations that attacked and keep the 4th armoured free to maybe move down. Now I've got some 12, 24, 25, 26, 27 on 13 is 2 to 1 with 2 to the left plus 1 to the left. 2 to 1 goes 1, 2, 3. Terrible odds, but a 4 is no effect. Got lucky there. And finally, this combat out on the left. 12, plus 10 is 22 on 8 with 4 to the left. So basically 2 to 1. Yeah, it's the worst possible odds regardless of what I do. And an AL1 result, so I'm going to lose a step. The Americans basically throwing everything they can out here. Okay, now we've got this combat here. Got 18 on 8. 18. Can't really do much. 18 on 8. Yeah, it's going to be 2 to 1, 3 shifts to the left, an AL1 result. Desperate Americans really pushing, hoping for anything. So we'll do an attack here, 16 on 6. I'll throw in some attack air here to make it 3 to 1. It's in the woods, forest, sorry, which is only 1 to the left. So it goes down to 2 to 1 and then 1 to 1. Oh, God, and I roll a 1 for 1 hit here. That's a waste of attack air. We have an attack here, and I've got 16 again, I think. Yep, 16 on 10. 16 plus another attack air is 20 on 10, 2 to 1. Shifts down 1, 2, 3. Doesn't really matter. I'm not going to use attack air, sorry. It's just the worst possible column. But a 6 is a DR result. So 1, 2, and they'll advance in there. Combat here is 29 on 8. 29, now we'll use our attack air to make that 33 for 4 to 1 odds, shifting down to 1 to 1 odds. A 2 is no effect. Here we have 18. We'll use a tank. It doesn't matter actually because it's going to be 3 odds to the left. And a 6 though is a DR. 1, 2, and we advance. Combat here is 18 on 8. Again, the worst column. A 3 is an AL1 result. I'm really just hoping for some retreats here. 13 on 5 is 2 to 1. 3 to the left is a 6 DR. 1, 2. We can punch through there. And finally 21. 21 plus attack air is 6 to 1. 2 to the left, 3 to the left, 3 to 1 column, 3 to 1, 3 is a DR asterisk. So 1, 2, and they'll advance. So, okay. Again, making progress. Got a few Germans in trouble here. They'll need to do an emergency withdrawal if they get the opportunity. Because it's not guaranteed that, okay, it's not guaranteed, but it is a German movement. Now, this is going to be their last movement, basically, for the game. And look, they're safe. They're still miles away from other launches. I think they're safe. 1, 2, they can't bolster that, sorry. They will just pull back a tiny little bit. I'll do an emergency withdrawal, come back 2 hexes. 1, 2. They'll come back there. 1, 2, 3. They're okay. They'll do an emergency. They don't need an emergency withdrawal, sorry. Yes, they do. They have to withdraw to there. They can't do an emergency withdrawal, so they're stuck, but they will delay the Americans. They'll go 1, 2, 3. And now we have some reinforcements arriving to block this gap down here. We might send the 6th Fallschirmjäger. Oh, actually, they can't move very far. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 2, pulling back, that's all okay. Everyone's okay along there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. That's the last German movement. So final German positions for the campaign at the end of August. Now, basically the next activation has to be a combat. We have a British move, which is unfortunate because the British wanted... Well, actually, no, it's not unfortunate because if they can move up to the Germans, attack them, and then move. The question is where and how. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, push in there. Oops. Where else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can do that. So I can try and target these two hexes here, hoping to eliminate them, basically, is what I really, really, really need. 53rd Division can come back around 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just hold that position there, blocking the Germans from coming through. We can get an attack on here. That might be pretty good. We've got the third Canadian, sorry. So they could come into this stack and join in there. These are independent. A lot of reduced. I need to really open a big gap. So there's 2 weak stacks here, both with the strengths of 6. Let's bring the poles over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with some independent formations who they can stack with. That'll be a big attack on that hex. Then I need to get as much strength as I can into here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 15th Division shifting out to the east. A lot of reduced stacks. The Canadians here, 4th Canadian, they're not overly strong. 49th Division is still in decent shape. So they can go 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, easy. They can jump in there. So concentrated forces out here, trying to open this road to Falaise, basically. The other formations, they're not going to sit around. They're going to join in some combats as well. We'll bring the 43rd back together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have a movement of 10, keep in mind, so they can move very far. That's a 53rd. I've confused those two, sorry. Where's the rest of the 53rd Division? They're way up north. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can make it. Okay. I can't get armoured across this major river. They have to use a bridge, but this is all infantry. So they can go 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7 to cross that major river. And they can do that. They can afford the movement points. Then we'll get the rest of these forces. We'll get, for example, the 11th Guards to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, these independent formations. We will get the Canadians to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, concentrating more of it around here. And then we're leaving up to the 50th Division, the good old hardy 50th and 51st. The Highland Division and the Tyne Tees to do what? They can get some combat going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's unlikely to be overly effective, but they can't lose much. The Germans can't move any further, really. That's it for the British. So that's their movement. Okay. Now we have an American move or combat. And this is really unfortunate because the Germans just pulled back, basically. And they've only got one. If they move now, that's their last movement for the game, the scenario. If they combat, there's only one combat they can do. It's unfortunate, really. I guess they will move and see what might have been, I guess. So they will, there's not a lot they can do. Move in there, 6, moving up. So there, they can't move. Moving these guys, moving them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is okay. One, two, slipping around the coast. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, they can't do that. They have to stop there. 1, 2, 3. They can slip in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, like I said, that's just a movement action, no combat. And that's the second American movement action for the turn, so they won't get... Actually, yeah, it doesn't matter anyway, there's only one American counter left in the cup. And here we have British movement. Well, they could turn this into a combined action. They may as well. They're not doing any movement really, but the one extra combat that they get out of this could be very beneficial. So it's one column shift to the left on all their combat. So they don't want to attack here, but here certainly they get 10, 20, 29 on 9. 29 on 9 is 3 to 1. 3 to 1. The forest shifts it down to 2 to 1. 1 to 1 with the combined. A 1 to 1, 3 is a BL1. So they lose a step, and we lose a step. Over here we have 9 and 9, 18, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1 down to 1 to 1, 3 is a BL1. So another step loss. Oops. And now we lose, this is interesting, it's taken all turn to see our first regular infantry casualty. We lost that 6th Division force quite early, but that's the only kind of permanent loss. A lot of step reductions. Yeah. Over here we have 15 plus 18 is 33 on 6. 33 plus 4 is 37 for 6 to 1, shifting down to 5 to 1, 4 to 1. 4 to 1, 6 is going to eliminate the defender and give us our opening. All right, we have a gap. We have a gap. Here we have the Poles on 12 plus the Canadian, 12 Polish-Canadian combined offensive. So 24 on 6 is 4 to 1. I'm going to throw in some carpet bombing. 4 to 1. 1 left, 1 right is 4 to 1, 2. 4 to 1, 2 is a DR result. I really want to better from my carpet bombing. 1, 2, and I'll advance. And a big attack here. 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 46. 46 on 9 is 5 to 1. 46 on 9, can't really add much to that. So 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 is a defender eliminated. Look at that, that's the biggest combat success all game. And it's coming right at the end of the turn. Yeah, the Brits get no more movement. They get a combat. Oh, just so unlucky. All right, last ditch effort. We've got 10, 16 on 8, 2 to 1, down to 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 5 is a DR result. 1, 2, we'll push through there, and then we have 12, 22, 22 on 5. We'll throw in our attack air to make it 25 on 5, so 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1 across the river, 3 to 1, 2 is a DR result, 1, 2, and we will advance. Leaving the guards armoured behind. Nah, send everyone across. That's way up in the north there. And that's it for British movement. Now we have British combat. There's nothing really they can do. They can try and finish off these Germans here. 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 with attack airs, 18 on 4, which is 4 to 1, down to 3 to 1. 3 to 1, 4 is a DR asterisk. 1, 2. 2, I think they have to go. We may as well do a 19, 20, 21, 26, plus a attack air. No, 26 won't help. 5 to 1, 4 to 1, 4 to 1, 6 is a defender eliminated. So I'm really hurting these Germans in this last turn. I just can't do anything else with it. So that's it for British combat. Lastly, we get a German combat. This is the last activation for the game, basically. And they can't move. They've had their 2 moves. So it's a German combat, and there's nowhere they want to fight. That brings us to the end of the turn. We check supply. Everyone's in supply. These guys aren't, so they will lose a step on that final turn. The supply is cut there. That's about it. So it was certainly a late game Allied push. A few things they needed to do. They needed to push earlier. They needed to attack far more frequently in those early turns in order to reduce Germans and just force retreats. I think they can sacrifice these steps. The fact that there are so few, let me take you around. There's basically 1 regular infantry loss. There's an American Ranger loss. That's that green counter you can see here. That was a Ranger point to Hawk. The 6th Airborne, which suffered a horrific counterattack from the Germans early. And then that 1 late loss. There have been no other Allied infantry losses. A lot of step losses, but nothing, yeah. How is it figured that the Allies lose, Stephen asks. What's the rationale? Look, progress is basically too slow. Compared to, you're kind of comparing to historical outcome. And I know this was slow. The first, and I mean, this is my first experience. The first few turns, I was very, very non-aggressive, cautious, worried about the CRT. I mean, the CRT is actually very generous to the attacker. The absolute worst outcome is an attacker loss 1. Even at sort of 2 to 1 odds, you can potentially get an exchange which eliminates the defender. So yeah, you really need to be aggressive with the Allies is the idea. I'm going to set this up straight away and start all over again because I want to do that. I want to implement that. All over the line, they need to be more aggressive. Attack, attack, attack. Don't worry too much about step losses because even when you get, reduced divisions, this is actually they're not too bad reduced, but here we have the 29th Division landed on Omaha Beach. They're all reduced, but they still hold a point in the line. They can still attack at a strength of 9. They combine with other units. They don't have to attack. But by this stage, if I was a little bit more aggressive early on, yeah, I would not treat this as a typical run through of the scenario. Far too passive as the Allies. has created this situation. Again, I hope it's given you a sense of what this is like to play. It's a very dynamic. I think I say that a lot. There's a lot of it going on. The Germans are evasive. They just need to pull back one hex to avoid these Allied attacks. Obviously, every time they do that, they're giving ground. Sometimes when they're in good positions, they want to hold. The Americans and the British are so often frustrated by that move. They line up their forces, they get a move, they line up. The Germans get a move counter and they just pull back one more. I want to note the rules errors that I made, miscalculating blockage movement rates for the Germans early on and the Americans as well. I think it balanced out. What else? I brought these on. I treated the support units as reinforcements and rolled for them and counted them as movements. They all come on the turn they're available. I didn't necessarily play this wrong. I just forgot. Well, I may have played it wrong, certainly considering that. But I kind of forgot to play a few of these early on. Could have played some prepared offensives from roughly turn 4, 5, 6 onwards. What else? Yeah, there's a kind of a lot to keep in mind. All these sort of special weather effects. These are the special weather effects on movement. So you kind of, you've got to keep these in mind. You've got to be mindful of what the weather is for the turn. So you've really got to concentrate on what the weather conditions are and what effect that has. And then, this is the terrain effects chart. There's a lot of, a lot of special rules, a lot of notes. There's a lot of different types of terrain. Major and minor rivers are interesting. They seem really imposing, major rivers, but they're not that bad. I mean, one column shift to the left, and then only if all attackers are attacking across river hex sites. So it's not that bad to attack across the Orne River. And you can just jump across it pretty easily. Oh, I didn't realise this. Causeway, okay. Units entering a marsh hex across a causeway pay clear terrain movement point cost to enter. So units coming out of Utah could have moved a lot further. I misplayed that all game. Those extra movement points could have really helped in terms of getting reinforcements. They land at Utah and they can rapidly move, and I didn't do that correctly, so my apologies. I think most other things were correct. Okay, attack air support value. I didn't notice that. I've just noticed that for attacks into woods and forests. Granted, that may not have been many. You saw how many attacks took place into bocage. But I forgot about that as well. All right, folks. So, as I said, that is the end. I'm going to reset this whole thing. It might take me a while, and I'm going to jump straight back into it. Really keen to see how it goes when I play by the rules both correctly and when I kind of utilize the CRT for aggressive allied actions. So stay tuned and I'll get to that as soon as I can. Thanks again all, and take care.